I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to our playlist where we have well organized videos for you to practice. In this series, we have taken up a test paper on advanced functions. Those of you who want a PDF of this, they can definitely send me an email on globalmathinstitute at gmail.com. In the playlist, you'll find solutions of each and every question. In this video, let's discuss the very first question, which is to how do we solve the equations. So to find the roots of the equation, we are working in the domain of real numbers. Okay, so let's be very clear where x belongs to real numbers. Now, three types of equations I have taken. One is the polynomial, second one logarithmic, and then a trigonometric equation. Let's begin with the very first one, which is 8x cubed minus 4x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. Now, a couple of ways you could actually check with the uh, roots, right? Try numbers 1 plus minus and then see whether you get a 0 or not, or plus minus half plus minus 1 over 4 or plus minus 1 over 8, as those are the possible roots using your factor theorem, of course. But this is much simpler. Here you can actually factor 8x cubed minus 4x squared. You can see that from the first two terms, 4x squared is a common factor. So what you get here is 2x minus 1. And we already have 2x minus 1 if you take minus 1 common. So 2x minus 1 becomes a common factor, and we get 4x squared minus 1 equals to 0. You can further factor 4x squared minus 1, right, as a difference of squares. So you get 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 equals to 0. So once we have a factored form, it is very easy to write down the roots. So this equals to 0. So we have basically written this equation as 2x minus 1 whole square times 2x plus 1 equals to 0. And equating each to 0 using the 0 principle, we can write down the answer. So we get x equals to half, and here we get x equals to minus half. So for this cubic equation, we have two solutions, double root at half, right, and a linear at minus half, right? So I hope these steps are absolutely clear. Let's move on and take up part B of this particular question, which is a logarithmic equation. So we can write down 9 minus 3 log of 5x equals to 0. So you can take 9 on the other side, and so we get 3 log 5x equals to 9. Dividing by 3, we get log of 5x. 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Now log is to the base 10. Writing it in exponential form, we get 5x equals to 10 to the power of 3. So that gives you a very simple equation to solve once again. So what we have here is 5x equals to 10 to the power of 3 is 1000. And therefore, x is equals to 1000 divided by 5. So we have our solution, which is x is equals to 200. Right, so that is how you'll solve this logarithmic equation. And now we'll move on to the trigonometric equation. So this is the very first question to get you started. So it gives you kind of an overview of, just getting fresh with all these functions. Now here we have 2 sine 2x plus 1 equals to 0. X is in degrees from 0 to 360 degrees. So let's rewrite the equation, which is 2 sine 2x plus 1 equals to 0. Rearrange, so we get 2 sine 2x equals to minus 1 sine 2x half negative sign. So now we have sine 2x which is within which is minus 5, and x, as you see, is within this interval of 360 degrees and 1 0, right? So 2x will be what? 2x will be within the domain of 0 to 720 degrees, 2 cycles. So within one period of normal 0 to 360, we'll have 2 cycles. And within these 2 cycles, we'll have 4 solutions for the given equation. So you need to find 4 solutions of the given equation. That's kind of very important to understand. So whenever we are solving a trigonometric equation, it is a good practice to find the related acute angle, right? So let's write down as sine alpha as a related acute angle. And acute angle means it will be positive. So alpha is equals to sine inverse of half, right? So of course, in this particular case, you can also think about a special triangle, right? And then you know what are the roots. This is for 30 degrees, correct? So we know alpha is equal to sine inverse of half. So alpha is 30 degrees, correct? However, you want negative half, so means on a coordinate plane, where should the principal angle be, right? So if you apply the cos rule, so all these steps, we're just reviewing what we have learned already. So it makes things, better for us to understand. So we know the sign should be in quadrant 3 or in 4. And therefore, we have two solutions, right? Where this angle here is 30 degrees, right? So now we get our principal angle. And so we can write down that 2x is equal to what, right? So we have 2x is equal to, so this angle, which is 180 plus 30, correct? Or 2x is equal to 210. So x is equal to 105 degrees, correct? That's one answer. And the other one is with this angle, right? 30 less than 360, let me write down directly, 2x equals to 300. So x is equal to 300 divided by 2, which is 150, correct? So we have two solutions for this. One is x equals to 105 and the other one is 150. However, as I said, these are still less, right? Do you see that? We have to go one more circle, right? Because we are talking about 2x. So if you leave the solution right here, you're going to lose half the marks, correct? So now what you should have done here is two things. At present also, we know 2x period is 180. We can add 180 to these and get our other two answers, correct? The other thing could have been that since we are talking about 2x and this period of 720, we could actually write here. Let me do it now here like this. So x will be equal to what all? So first will be 180 plus 30, which will be 210, correct? Second will be 360 minus 30, which is 300, correct? And then remember, you have to go one more circle. And then when you go kind of full circle back to this position, you're adding 360 to these values, right? So 360 added to these values will give you 570, and 360 to 300 will give you 660. And therefore, you get two more answers. So one way is initially write down all the full two values of 2x, sorry, not x, 2x. And then you divide by 2. The second way is you do it within one circle and then add the period of 2x, right? So sine 2x period will be two waves in 360, so period is pi or 180 degrees. So it's going to repeat after 180, right? So add 180 to this. So if I add 180, I get 285, correct? And adding 180 here, we get 0, 8 and 5, 13, and 332. You understand? So these are the four answers or solutions to our equation. That's the key which you should actually keep in mind, since if you do not give all the four answers as we discussed right in the very beginning of solving this question, you might lose a lot of marks. So I hope it is making sense. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and in case you want to learn more, you can always send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Thanks for your valuable time and all the best.